Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. You have to be little louder because today, of course, one day before, this is International Women Day. And if we are not energized ourselves, the celebration cannot be successful. So let's once again start with a humongous amount of energy within ourselves. Good evening. Thank you. So, Madam Tejashwini Anand Kumar, Honorable Chairperson, Professor VMS R. Murthy, Honorable Director, Dr. Ramita Ghosh, Distinguished Academician, Alumnus, and former Director, IIT Kharagpur, Distinguished Panelist, Dr. Shiv Shankar Dasgupta, Founder Srija India, Dr. Sangjukta De, Dr. PLS Hospital, Dr. Sangita Bandapadhyay, prominent Bengali writer, Honorable Justice Madam Amrita Sinha, and distinguished faculty sitting here, my dear students, and those who are connected online. Once again, good evening to all of you, and I start with this Happy International Women's Day 2025. I'm sure all of you are aware of the theme of this year. What is the theme of this year? The theme of this year is accelerating action. And it is an absolute pleasure for me to be here with you today to celebrate International Women's Day, a day that recognizes the strength, the intelligence, the potential of women across the globe. Today is just not a celebration, day of celebrations, but it is a reminder of how far we have come and how much more we can achieve together. As a young women students who are stepping into the future, you hold the immense power to shape the industries, lead the business, and drive the change in the society. My thanks goes to IIEST, the organizers of the program, Gabasu, and for giving me this opportunity to interact with you and share my thoughts with you all on this auspicious occasion. I'm also happy to share with you that I am an alumni of this college, and which was SYLB College. My wholehearted gratitude to this college faculty members who have shaped me, paved me, and paved the way and given me the platform for what I am today. While I entered into this college, I could see the premise. It reminds me those 4 years when I was here, the hostel, the college, the buildings, the clock, the ponds, the lakes, and everything. And I have really become so nostalgic. This day is the day
Any
to
medication
celebrate
available?
women
No, it's
who
okay. You can
individually
sleep.
as well as collectively broke the molds of
My,
patriarchal
I think
systems and carved the
you could
niche
not
for themselves.
get my card, na? That locate my car. I have given for servicing. Okay, okay. No, sir, I actually I saw whenever I saw your car, then only I come. Acha, acha. But I
Okay, so take a good look around and you'll notice that two powerful phenomena unfold in the world. And what are those two? The one is journey towards sustainability, and the second one, the rise of women. And Hillary Clinton has already said that women are the largest untapped reservoir for talent for the world. And today, when I'm sitting here, I could see that there are men too. So it's just not the Women's Celebration Day, but the men's celebration too as well. The reason a woman has to grow, man has to take the hand of women, and vice versa. So my congratulations and the best wishes to all my male colleagues, students, and everyone. In the last few decades, representation of women has increased, especially in the field of information technology, banking, management, arts, literature, business, entrepreneurship, startup, and all. But yet, the industries, we call it as a heavy industries, oil and gas industries, exploration, power, mining, where real work takes place and where involvement, hands-on experience is required. The executive are even below 8%. According to the McKinsey report, with leading organizations, women in the workplace, report name is Women in Workplace 2021, women made a representation to the gain of 5% points in the leadership for the last 5 years. The McKinsey Gender Parity Report notes that if India addresses the inequality, it can add approximately $770 billion to the GDP of India, which is almost like 18% of a usual scenario. And supporting the same, Niti Aayog also published its reports, and it says the growth rate of India GDP, which is currently 6 to 6.5%, can be 9 to 10% if the current workforce, women workforce of 24% can be increased to 50%. And that's a potential which is untapped all over, particularly in our country. And while India, the share of women in the workforce is spreading and increasing, the nation has a significant growth, and it has actually had the board members to the 6% in 2013, and then this increased to 13% in 2017, and now it is approximately 18%. And that's a kind of growth. But still, if you see, the world is acknowledging and witnessing the contribution of women leaders. We still need to constantly keep nudging the mark at our place. I'm glad to see the women of 21st century is a woman with ambitions. She is not afraid of exploring varied news areas, fields, and thanks to easy access to the information and knowledge. The exploration of digital world has created a new aspirations of women who can now draw inspirations from so many role models and success stories. Friends, each one of you is a treasure trove, and each of you have a success stories or moments and difficulties and struggle and opportunities and challenges. And journey of each one is very different, but challenges are full which can be explored. I have got an experience of 38 years in oil and gas industries. Back from B College, went to Indian Oil Corporations. I have got 10 transfers all across the globe. And, I worked in 5 refineries. I had been at Qatar Petroleum for 1.5 years at Qatar Doha, and South Korea for 6 months, and so many things. But each and every day has got its own challenges and opportunities. It's not that easy, but it's not that very difficult. I have been given a subject, the future energy challenges and opportunities. I'll just touch upon it because I don't think today is the time for discussing business. Today is the time to inspire all of you. So I'm just touching how the oil and gas industry works actually. The entire war, all the war you see, is basically nothing but war of energy. The countries having more of oil and gas, they are the richer, and they actually dominate the country. I'll tell you, once upon a time, USA used to import crude for their country, and that is to the tune of 50 to 60%. And today, they have actually, gone into a various innovative method and technology and discovered shale gas. And today, US exports oil, crude oil, than import. Worldwide, like the fossil fuel energy is the primarily utilized, 80%, and rest of them are nuclear energy, renewable energy, and all others. And obviously the fossil fuel are the major energy, and the clean energy out of that is the crude oil and the gas, natural gas. And the coal, of course, is the prominent figure. China is having a huge volume of coal, India too. So India utilizes in its total energy pie about 51% and 27% of crude oil, and the balance coming from other resources like nuclear power, renewable energy, and all other sources. That's a kind of distributions. But these all industries, what you are talking about, oil and gas industries, that is refineries and all, these are all energy intensive industries. Obviously, it has got a great contribution to increase the pollutions and sustainability comes into play. I would like to say that in 1901, India first discovered the crude oil at Digboy, and the first refinery has come with a capacity of 0.5 million metric ton at Digboy. Thereafter, the refineries started coming because country wanted the various kind of products, fuels and all. So now India is having 23 refineries, and we started with the refining uh, for crude distillation process. It's just a simple process, fractionating distillation it's called. But then it came sulfur reductions, it came the distillate yield increase and all this, and technology has improved. And we are now operating the plants at a pressure of 250 bar and the temperature of 1000 centigrade, that much of criticality in the severity. And we are thankful, or we should be proud of it, that country is now producing the entire fuel, that is petrol, diesel, ATF, kerosene, and petcoke, and all these in fully sufficiently required for the country, with having 23 refineries in our, and the processing capacity is 253 million metric ton per annum. But the challenge is coming in that after coal, we are utilizing crude as an energy source. 85% of that is imported one. And our country is spending something around $160 billion every year on account of this energy. So what's the way? And another way, the more of crude processing is actually polluting the entire environment. So there is challenges. There are challenges for going to the cleaner energy. So from coal to coke, crude oil to natural gas, and then now the natural gas, people who are looking for the energy by green hydrogen, nuclear energy, renewable energy, solar energy, and all these. Because our carbon emission has become so high, it's only 10 years by which the 1.5-degree increase in temperature will increase the level of water by about 200 centimeters. So that will be coming into a situation when the entire islands and maybe many of the cities of the globe will get sunk into the sea. That's the situations. So I'm not going into this of much, but it's a challenging area. All the industries in our country, particularly Indian Oil, Bharat Petroleum, Hindustan Petroleum, ONGC, Naira, and all these companies are now switching over to the other energies which are more clean and has got little effect onto the environment. Now, going to the next part, before I give you my thoughts to all of you, because I have been given 15 minutes, I suppose. Next thoughts, I will share some of my anecdotes in my life, which may inspire you. So thanks to seeing so many women, when we joined, or I joined in this college, we were of the batch of 16 numbers. And all the students started saying jumbo batch. Because prior to this, all the 4 batches was having total numbers of 11. So second year when I was, the entire hostel has been transferred to hostel number 10. That's a big hostel. And now many more hostels, women hostels are there here. So number has increased, and I was told that out of 4,000 students, 30% are women. So that's a great contributions and great rise for the women in the field of engineering. Going back to my working area, when I joined as a metallurgist, I joined Indian Oil Corporation, and my first posting was Haldia Refinery. So by virtue of their being a metallurgical engineering, they posted me at inspection department. That's a default, that's a way. So when I was, what is the job of inspection department? The job of inspection department to inspect in a refinery, the pressure vessels, the long towers, tall towers, the pressure vessel pipelines, piping, supports, and all those. So how do you inspect the towers? Because towers are tall and the crude is getting processed over there. And when you have to inspect, you have to open the manholes, which is of 24-inch dia. And maybe the tower diameter is 500 to 600 millimeter. So what does it need? When I joined, they haven't put me in that job. They said, you do the failure analysis because you won't be able to handle that job. You are a woman. So before I become a woman, my entire community has already converted to me a great women. And they are so overprotective. They said, no, I may not be because it's not their problem because our society is like that. So I thought my all colleagues are doing inspection, so I'll be having lack of experience. What I'm going to do in the future? So after a lot of persuasion, they put me over there as an experiment basis. Experiment. I'm an engineer, joined there and have equal right, but I have been put into the right job, which I supposed to do, and I have been put as an experiment. So experiment was successful, and I did good job, reasonably good job. And finally, what has happened is, it's a hard job because you have to climb a monkey ladder. It's not normal ladder. Monkey ladder, you have to climb into a height of 65 meter. There is a platform and the towers moves like this in the wind. You have to go there and enter into the column, which is dark, black. With all these tools, you have to go, torch and all, you have to go and inside, do the inspection with a lot of column trays are there inside. No, that's over. That's over. I'm now old, so I don't have to do those kind of job, most experience. So what I mean to say is that entering into a column through a manhole of 24-inch diameter is a very, very difficult job. But when you have established that you can do it, you have actually created an environment of parity. You can do that job. You know what has happened after this? There are what? Still those two columns are there. 15C01 is the tag number and 12C01 is called debutanizer and depropanizer column. The diameter of these two columns, only 300 millimeter. So the big structure, like men's are having heavy structure compared to women. So my main colleague, they found it very difficult to enter into that column through that manhole. And those two columns had been dedicated to me for my inspection all the time. Why I'm explaining this is that you women, I'm finding today less number of women in the Women's Day, but more of men. That's quite supportive. Thank you all. So I have actually established, or we have established, that we have the potential. We don't require any overprotection, and we can do it. So we have created a field. And the more important is that when you work, you're all around are men only. 80% men, maybe one or two women. Of course, today's scenario is very different. When I worked, I'm talking about way back in 1987, 1988. I was the only inspection engineer in the country, in the oil and gas industries. And I was the only woman at Haldia refinery to do that work. So I am a celebrity. I was a celebrity. Because whatever I do, everyone was watching. So there are two difficulties. Difficulties, if you don't perform, everyone will throw you out. This woman is a woman, is not working. And if you really perform better, you will be Aishwarya Rai. As simple as it is something like this. So there are advantages, there are disadvantages too. But what is more important for you, once you create an environment that you are capable of doing that, you have the potential. Everyone can do this. There is no gender. In this professional life, there is nothing called gender. It's a roles and responsibilities. And every organization, when you join, you become a business person. Remember, you become a business executive. So all the jobs has to focus on the bottom line of the, I'm sure you are aware of the word called bottom line. Bottom line is basically profitability. And the top line of the balance sheet is called the turnover. So you have to see the bottom line is increasing by your work. That's important. That's a business work. So you have to create an environment, and in all this environment, remember, gender is not coming because, as a student, you're chasing yourself like a game of golf. You play every day, you read and read, you make good results. You play every day in golf with yourself, compete yourself, you get a better result. But in the professional field, in the corporate world, the landscape is entirely different. The ball game is entirely different. What's the difference? Difference is that you have a boss, You have a colleague, right side, left side, front side, back side, and you have a boss and management at the top, and you have a subordinate at the bottom. So it's 360-degree coverage. And you have to get the job done. You have to listen to your boss. You have to make a network with your colleague to get the job done, because you alone cannot do the job. There will be job which involves multiple discipline, multiple people who are not reporting to you. So the environment is completely different. It's not a like environment like a college and you know institute, nothing like that. So the competition is very different, and you have to be smart enough to come out of that challenges. So this I am saying one example. Another example I would like to uh, many more of that, but I want to share with you because I'm sure this will inspire you. The Middle East having a lot of refineries because they have a lot of crude reserves and they don't have expertise. So what they do, India has a lot of expertise, and they depute Indian engineers through different organizations, and my organization is one of them, who also depute various inspection engineer at different point of time when they want, particularly when shutdown or turnaround takes place. So I have seen my bosses are, giving the names of my male colleagues, but they are not giving my name. They felt that in the Middle East probably it will not be suitable for me, and they are not going to take me because it's a problem is that because Middle East, the women doesn't work in the field. They may be working these days they are working, they are driving cars too as well, but in those days it is not. And working in the field, site, constructions area or the operating area, it just cannot be thought of. So my colleagues, they come, return, and they say it's a very good experience. They come to know various technologies and all these. So once I went to my boss and said, sir, why don't you give my name too as well? He said, no, you don't disturb others, because your name will, if I send also, they will reject it and I will be losing one opportunity. So I said, just give once, have a try. May not be what you are thinking, they may not think like that. So, and I'm also fortunate enough, they have given my name, and fortunate enough that I have been selected through interview. So I have gone there. Where I have gone? I have gone to Qatar. First, they have taken me to South Korea for 6 months, and they were so happy because I was working with all the Qatarians, and they were so happy. They said, you have to go to the construction site at Doha. Doha Mesaid is the construction site. The project, you have to go there, and you have to, support us. Otherwise, my project is not going to come. That's a kind of thing. What I mean to say by saying this is that even the Middle East, people of Middle East who has got so much a problem of women, who doesn't give the freedom to the women, are so careful and meticulous for the women who perform. They want performer. So remember, everyone in the business want performer, not a woman, not a man. So first of all, take out from your mind that you are a woman. You take it in your mind, you're simply a business person and you need really to hit the bottom line of the corporations. That's very important. So Middle East people has done it, so India is much above than that. So India should do that. That's what I'm saying. So I have been there. After working 6 months at South Korea, I went for 2 months. I was there 6 months at South Korea, and they took me to Qatar for the execution of the project, and I was there for 1.5 years. Life at Qatar was not that good, but it's very challenging. I was alone working with 20,000 people of the Middle East, Tunisia, Egypt, and all. But still, it was a great challenge, beautiful challenge, and I enjoyed thoroughly the entire thing. So by saying so, I just wanted to give my thought process that why I'm saying to all of you is that, as I already said, build a parity to create the parity. You have to create your own environment wherever you are so that you can grow, make a parity. Nobody is going to come and tell you is that you are a woman and show you the sympathy that you can do this. No sympathy. We are competent enough, strong enough, bold enough, courageous enough. We can do this. Why do? Why? I'm an engineer, and that's my designations. Okay, emphatically, I'm an engineer, and that's my designation. That should be the strength in your mind. So, and then second point I would like to say, there is no blueprint of success. everyone has his own success stories. Everyone has their failure stories. And the failure is a pillar of success. So all of you are going to, face the tomorrow's future, and you are the future. Everyone, the world is welcoming you to perform. And the way the dynamics are getting changed all across, that is artificial intelligence. Uh, and I would say the internet has actually changed the world. It has made the entire world onto the palm. You can see the palm. You can work throughout the world in 24 hours. That's a kind of, world has become small. It has become on your palm. So that kind of dynamics are going on. And if you are not updated to that extent, you will be simply slipped
আমি
behind.
আবার
That's very, very
ইয়ে
important.
ফুলের কুঁড়ি আনতে দিয়েছি, তুমি আবার গোলাপ আনতে দিয়েছো। ভালো এই ইয়ে করতে হবে, গার্ডেন করতে হবে।
Okay, so muted all, huh? So there's no blueprint. You can inspired by the anecdotes of different people who are around. I'm sure this will help you out in the future too as well. As I already said, roles and responsibilities are very, very important. No gender, and it doesn't go by gender. Particularly if you are not doing your startup business and all, it's all bottom line. Be courageous for every man and every woman. Particularly for the women, I would suggest to be courageous, be bold. So this is primary virtue a person should have. Any leaders you see, starting from uh, Indira Noim and all, they have taken some bold step, bold action, which is not stereotype, and have shown the world that they can do it. Everyone can do it. They also have done this. So you be very courageous and bold to take actions. And what is going to happen? Most of the time, we are unable to handle the problem. Though say it is very difficult. Actually, since we are not able to handle it, we say it is difficult. Everything is easy as long as you manage the situation. The build parity to demand parity. If you really want to say that you want a world of parity where no disparity of men and women, the responsibility first goes to individual to create the parity in the environment. That's very, very important. And collaborations. When you work in the industries and the corporate world, remember, you have to create a network of collaborations which will give you a better progress, better output in your own life. And remember, success only comes to those who are willing to work. Who are willing to work. So my final thought to all of you is that as you move forward in your life, remember that you are just not the future. You are the present too. Your voices matter, your ideas are valuable, and your potential is limitless. In our industry and in every industry, we need more women leaders, innovators, and decision makers. So dare to dream and dream big. Work hard and never let anything dim your light. The world is yours to conquer. So at the end of my thoughts, I would say once again, all of you, the best of luck in your personal and professional lives. Happy International Women's Day. Wish you all the best. Thank you.